Hello and welcome to our workshop on prompt engineering for educators. I am Mark Branom, a professor at San José City College, and I'm excited to guide you through the fundamentals of effectively using AI in your teaching practice. Today, we'll talk about empowering educators to effectively use AI in their teaching practice. We'll focus on understanding the basics of prompt engineering and how it applies specifically to education. By the end of this session, you'll be able to create more effective prompts tailored to your teaching needs. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is prompt engineering? Simply put, it's the art and science of crafting effective queries for AI systems. Just as the quality of questions we ask our students shapes the depth of their responses, the way we frame our requests to AI directly impacts the quality and usefulness of what we get back. This isn't actually a new skill for us as educators. It's a natural extension of our existing pedagogical expertise. We already know how to scaffold questions to elicit deeper thinking. Now we're applying that same expertise to a new context. You might be wondering why this matters specifically for us as educators. Well-crafted prompts yield educational content that's actually useful and relevant to your specific teaching context. When you master prompt engineering, you can create materials precisely tailored to your specific students and learning objectives. You'll be able to leverage AI as a teaching assistant rather than just treating it like a fancy search engine. Poorly crafted ones waste your time and produce generic responses that don't serve your students' needs. Let's connect this to something we already understand: the progression of questions in our classrooms. Consider how we naturally adjust our questioning. In a literature class, a basic question might be, what are the main themes in "Their eyes were watching God"? But as we push for deeper analysis, we might ask, how does Hurston's use of dialect inform our understanding of power dynamics? This same progression applies perfectly to AI prompts. A basic prompt might be, give me discussion questions about "Their eyes were watching God." But a more sophisticated prompt would provide context about your students, specify the analytical focus, and outline the type of questions you need. The principle is the same. The sophistication of our questions directly shapes the depth of thinking we receive in response. When crafting effective prompts, there are 4 key elements to consider. Think of these as building blocks that work together to create a complete request. First, context, framing your academic setting. Second, purpose, articulating your pedagogical goals. Third, specifications, defining clear parameters. And fourth, output format, describing how you want the material presented. We'll explore each of these in more detail. The first element is context, where you frame your academic setting. This is like setting the stage for your request. Include information about your course level and discipline. Is this an introductory survey course or an upper division seminar? What's your students' background knowledge? Are they familiar with critical theory or new to the subject entirely? What methodological approaches are they familiar with? And are there any special considerations that you need to take into account? The more clearly you communicate your teaching environment, the better the AI can tailor its response. The second element is purpose, where you articulate your pedagogical goals. This is where you explain what you want to accomplish. Be clear about your learning objectives. What should students be able to do after engaging with this material? Specify any theoretical frameworks you want applied. Identify the type of activity or resource you need, whether it's a discussion guide, lecture outline, or assessment rubric. Detail which skills you want to develop and how this connects to broader course themes. The clearer you are about your educational intentions, the more aligned the AI's response will be. The third element is specifications, where you define clear parameters. These are your detailed requirements. Specify the scope and depth of analysis required. Should this be an introductory overview or an in-depth exploration? State any length and format requirements. Be clear about the difficulty level. Is this challenging for advanced undergraduates or accessible to beginning students? Specify which theoretical perspectives to include or exclude, and identify any specific sources or examples you want referenced or avoided. These specifications help ensure you get exactly what you need. The fourth element is output format, where you describe how you want the material presented. This shapes how the information will be organized to best serve your teaching goals. Specify the organization style. Would a chronological development work best, or a thematic approach? Indicate any visual elements needed. State the level of detail required and the balance of abstract concepts versus concrete examples you prefer. And specify the format for student engagement. Do you want discussion prompts, reflection questions, or active learning components? Being clear about format ensures the material is ready to use with minimal reworking. Let's see these elements in action with a before and after example. Here's a basic prompt. Help me teach Shakespeare. And here's an improved version. I'm teaching Hamlet to first-year college students who struggle with Shakespeare's language. Create a lesson plan for Act 1, Scene 1 that includes a modern language translation of key passages, 2 to 3 discussion questions that connect the theme of family conflict to students' lives, and a simple activity to help students understand iambic pentameter. Please keep the language accessible for young adults. Notice how the improved prompt provides context about the students, specifies exactly what components are needed, and gives clear parameters about accessibility and relevance. As you start experimenting with prompt engineering, here are some common pitfalls to avoid. First, being too vague. Instead of asking for some teaching ideas, 3 15-minute activities to help students practice identifying metaphors in poetry. Second, overcomplicating requests. If you find yourself writing a paragraph-long prompt with multiple requirements, consider breaking it into smaller, focused requests that you can build upon. Third, forgetting student context. Instead of simply asking it to explain photosynthesis, specify that you need this explanation in terms that non-technical college-level students will understand. Being aware of these pitfalls will save you time and frustration. Let's practice improving a prompt together. Consider this basic prompt. Give me information about the Civil War. Take a moment to think about how you might improve this using the 4 elements we've discussed. Here's how we might improve that prompt. I need to create a primary source analysis activity about the Civil War for my seminar. Please suggest 2 to 3 contrasting primary sources about the economic causes of the Civil War, create 5 to 6 guided analysis questions that help students compare perspectives, and include tips for helping students understand 19th century language. My students have already studied the basic timeline of events. Notice how this improved version specifies the teaching context, the specific type of activity needed, the analytical focus, and the student's existing knowledge. As we wrap up, here are the key takeaways from today's session. Prompt engineering is an extension of your existing teaching skills, not something entirely new. Effective prompts have context, purpose, specifications, and output format. Be specific about your teaching context and student needs, and think of AI as a collaborative tool that responds to the quality of your input, just like your students do. Here are some next steps to continue developing your prompt engineering skills. Start by experimenting with basic prompts in your discipline. Try adapting the before-after examples from our guide to your specific teaching context. And join us for the advanced workshop, where we'll cover iterative prompting techniques and discipline-specific strategies. Thank you for participating in today's workshop. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. All workshop materials are available online and are licensed under CC BY 4.0, so feel free to adapt them for your own use. I look forward to seeing you at the advanced session, where we'll build on these fundamentals and explore more sophisticated techniques for higher education contexts. Before we conclude, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the creation of these materials. This presentation was authored by Professor Mark Branom at San José City College, with assistance from Claude, an AI tool developed by Anthropic. Audio was produced using ElevenLabs Text-to-Speech Eleven Flash v.25. The images you've seen were generated using DALL-E, an AI tool developed by OpenAI. I've chosen to be transparent about AI use because I believe this models the ethical practice we should encourage in academia. Just as we expect students to cite their sources, we should acknowledge AI assistance in our work. This transparency doesn't diminish the human expertise and judgment that guided the process. Rather, it demonstrates academic integrity and helps normalize responsible AI use. This work is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 license, meaning you're free to share and adapt these materials as long as you provide appropriate attribution. I hope these resources help you explore prompt engineering in your own teaching practice, and I look forward to seeing how you adapt these techniques to your disciplines.